I've never publicly talked about my last name, and I've never publicly smoked weed.
Enjoy, brother. But guys, back to Listen, I'm a Barber podcast. And today, I got my man, Day-to-Day-Chase here, and he's been a very big force in this podcast, bringing to you guys some of the most professional quality that blew my mind when I first saw it. Chase, welcome to this side of the room.
I know, it's weird.
Is it?
These chairs are like comfy, but not comfy at the same time.
I told you the one cord like goes up your ass and keeps people like, keeps them attentive. You know what I mean?
Just get like one cushion.
I could accommodate a cushion for the guest. I feel like I could do that.
I sure hope so.
You may, dude, I'll put it, but give me plenty of tips. But I mean, this one, I do feel for the guest's sake. We do.
Well, you honestly, you take care of them too. Aside from the cushion, you know, people leave with parting gifts.
They do leave with
parting gifts. Like straight up. Yeah, this guy is one of the most attentive hosts. Like you're like, every time. How many have we filmed so far? There's been
almost 10.
We filmed 10. Well, I've only been a part of I think 6.
Yeah, Ty, how many have we filmed so far? We lost track. I mean,
I feel like it's more than 10.
Because some of them were scrapped and we got to redo them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like been 10.
Yeah. You know what though? Growing, like the growing process of all this.
It's insane. People have no idea.
Yeah.
What goes behind. You're learning.
Oh,
you're learning.
God.
You're learning quickly.
Oh yeah,
dude. And that's what's been cool for me too, being behind the scenes of this, because I used to work in a live stream studio. I've obsessed over YouTube. I literally just run numbers of things for fun.
Yeah.
And figure out like, how much would this cost? I'm like, actually now being a part of this and it's serious, I'm actually figuring out what is the cost for someone to run a podcast at the highest end, like to the point where someone can just sit down and go right to it. Yeah. A lot. Do you want to know the number? I figured out how much it costs for somebody to have an editor, an assistant to get the guests and make sure, and then also all the equipment and a space.
That's a big cost. The equipment, I've said it plenty of times, I'm lucky to hit that fucking bet, because that first nut, before we even get to your part with the editing and the assistant, it's like, just to have the setup, the place to do it, the stuff in the setup. I mean, dude, I made jokes. Like I was sitting there when I first started this and I was like, all right, don't spend that much on chairs. I'm not ready to spend that much on chairs. And, then a lot of people were like, just calm down with the set, like get on this. And it's like, oh shit, well, that's a couple grand, like to not fuck around, like get off the iPhones and actually really get the cameras going, the Roadcaster.
Dude,
shit.
Dude, guess how much it costs? After everything is said and done, like I said, having basically 2 employees, like an assistant and an editor.
Are we going like per episode?
Yearly.
What
it would cost.
Shit, I know where I'm like projected at. And if you're saying it's probably a little higher, I'm going to go 20,000, around 20,000.
Tackle on an extra 100,000 to that.
Oh, you're talking.
Dude, I'm talking like you. So you were doing it in your house. Now imagine that wasn't a thing. Now you have to rent a space. Most places you're going to end up spending, even if you get the 500 square foot room, a 300 square foot room, you're still going to be spending at least $500 to $1,000 in rent.
Absolutely. Oh, then you got your utilities.
Then you got utilities, dude. And that's what I'm saying. Like after gear, and you're paying employees.
Didn't even think of that cost,
dude. Everything. It's. I haven't figured out the exact number, but I know it's at least $120,000 to have the highest quality possible off the gate, and for people to go, I don't even do like this is like professional, like. Dude, it's crazy. So it's been really, really cool being on the other side of this, because I'm figuring out, and because now, I mean, I've talked to you, I've thought of new businesses strategies with this, and I'm like, dude, wait a minute, hold on, everything's starting to,
dude, the hamster wheel starts going.
Yeah, because I'm like, hold up, and because this is the future, man.
It's like we can do that. It's like, can we?
Yeah,
we could try. Nah, fuck trying. Let's do it.
This is the future, and that's why I'm I'm so stoked to be a part of this because naturally, you got it. All you need is like me, Tyler, people that do this kind of stuff, and that can be like, all right, and this is how you do it. You know what I mean? It's been really cool, to say the least.
This process for me so far has been such a learning experience because you have your business with all of this, and I know this is like even a new adventure as it is for me, but I've gone back in previous episodes that you filmed, you've listened to some of the shit, and to even be in the position to be able to do this.
Yeah.
It took me years to develop the personality that I have now that was actually able to be sustainable to maintain this part of my life. There's always the ego of life that takes you to egotistical places, and then you have a more focused like aspect of like what you want for yourself. It's like, holy shit, this took me here. Like, I would have never thought I'd be talking to you particularly. Like, I met you a little while ago, and I was like, all right, cool. And I got to learn so much about you, about what your business is. And I'm like, this cat's just like me. Entrepreneur, dug it from the ground up. And it's like, I don't know, dude. It's tough because I've gone through so much of like trial and error with business that it's like listening to you and then to create even more like options and shit is like, wow, like this is ever going. Like this is ever going in some degree. Like we don't have, like we can't quit. You know what I'm saying?
No, can't quit.
And you told me you got kicked in the dick a bunch of times. I've been
and the balls, everything.
You know what? My left nut hasn't been hit yet. Not yet. Not the left one.
It's the worst.
So,
especially when you're lefty.
I want to ask you something. And I would love to shoot this back and forth with you. I've been cutting hair. I'm 33. I started cutting hair when I was 15. I've been cutting hair longer than I haven't. When you told me how long you've been doing this, I literally connected with just the time frame, not even the phrase, the time frame. What's been the hardest thing that you've had to really like overcome in business? Because, hey, I love when the checks come in. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's all glorious with the money, but it's like the things that go into being able to get to that point. Like, what was your hardest?
Let me be extremely transparent for a second. I am not anywhere where I want to be yet, especially financially. So I'm still in the trenches, but I'm not as deep as I used to be. I'm in it. How could I put this? I'm in a hole with better shovels now.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
100% I get that.
Like they're wider, they're more sturdy, you know what I mean? I got someone else helping me shovel too. Like, you know what I mean? Like I got people behind me, I got things like that, and I didn't ever have that, and it's really cool. It's like I'm blessed that I get to wake up and do what quote unquote whatever I want. I still am filming things that I don't
want to do.
Yeah, I don't wake up that I'm like stoked for, but it's becoming few and farther in between those projects now.
So would you say that where you're at right now, and we can scratch whatever comes from it, but your experience seems like there's so much time that if you feel this way, let me know, because I feel this way. I've put in so much time into it that even when the money wasn't a thing or it was really the thing that I needed at the time, there still was so many fucking obstacles. Like playing this podcast, just explaining that.
I mean, dude, especially from what I do, the technical side of things, like
I'm mind blown with the shit that I see.
Dude, like
I'd be lost without it.
People that do what I do, and if you've ever watched someone like me and it's of quality, and you're done looking at that photo or video and you go, damn, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's like 100 times harder on the person that made that. Like there's so much more than you even know that goes into that. And because it looks so nice and clean and easy, you're just like, what? Basically, like all the stuff I make, I have made, one, just basically off of no sleep. Two, in the back of a moving car, moving for 8 hours. Like I think one of my best videos I ever made, I literally made coming back from Ohio from a festival, sitting in the back of a car with a bunch of shit around me, like everyone's stuff, and I'm just editing like this.
See, real quick,
literally, like
I think that's what, and that's, I love that you just said that, because I don't think people see that.
No, they don't, and that's
They just see you. They
Yeah.
see you. They see what you produce. They don't see the environment you're working in. They don't see how fast you're moving, what you have to accomplish on top of your day-to-day, the day-to-day chase.
Yeah, see,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm so happy you said it. That is literally why I named myself. Well, two reasons. That is one reason why I named myself Day-to-Day Chase, because it's the day-to-day shit.
Yeah.
But also, more on that, when I was traveling back in 2015, I was like, the reason why I left too, I was just insanely low. My life, my brain, everything was just at its lowest point. I was sad, literally suicidal, literally attempted it. And thank God I had a friend that came and picked me up that day. And I was like, dude, I got to go. I got to get out of here. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I just want to travel. So I got up and traveled. And I realized in that process, you have to take things day to day. Not week to week, not year to year, day to day, because you don't even know, dude, we've all been in those situations where you're just having a day, you get that call.
Yeah.
It changes everything.
Unfortunately, yeah.
It's a day-to-day thing. You have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. And I guess now thinking about that's like a third reason why I named myself. You never know what's going to happen.
There, honestly,
You know what I mean?
day-to-day chase, there's so much behind that. And it's like, I really like that, like that was your tag. Because, mine's Jay Ollie with the barber. It's pretty, there's not like a deep like double entendre about it.
Yeah.
But
There's also, I don't even, I feel like I don't like my last name either. I fucking hate my last name.
can I drop it? Am I allowed to drop it?
Well, it's Jewy. It's not because I'm Jew, and that's why honestly. I love how you make that joke, because that's literally my joke. It's my joke. But it's so cool at hearing someone. I'm like, yeah, I'm Jew-ish. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like
There's the hyphen in between the W and the I.
Yes. But I don't know. Should I just publicly? I finally put it on my Instagram. My last name.
I saw it.
I've had my Instagram for 10 years. My last name has never been on it. Should I just?
Real quick,
should you say it?
before you say it, I'm gonna say this. For the 10 years you didn't have it posted, might have been the best time to have it posted. Because now that it's posted, it's like, holy, like when you told me your last name, I was like, what?
It's so bad, but it's like not that bad at the same time, but it's so bad.
It's almost like if your last name was Hitler. It's close. Like if I had a friend whose last name was Hitler, it's like, okay. Like you still the homie.
The funny part, I hated my last name just growing up just because how it sounded, and then there was like the Jewishness to it, and then it's just then this fucker.
I'll be honest, it is. I mean, look, my last name's Goldberg.
Yeah,
that's really.
But that's
Jewish.
sick because the fucking coolest wrestler ever has that last name. I don't got a cool wrestler.
You know how many people were like, "Oh my god," like are you related? And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, is that like a serious question? Like, I know it was fun to ask, but it's like, okay, no, he is no connection. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I say that same.
All right, just tell people what it is. Just tell people what it is.
All right, my last name is Epstein. I have never publicly said that ever. This is an exclusive. Fuck you, Jay. Fuck you.
It's funny too.
It's because, like I said, it's like, damn, that sucks, and it is bad having that last name. But it's like, honestly, it's like a 50-50 thing. When I have the build up to, I don't want to say my last name, then people get it. But if I just kind of casually say it, most of the time it goes over people's heads. So I'm just like, I feel like I'm too in my head about it. But you want to know what's fucking weird though? This isn't sometimes. Every single time I go to rent a car.
From the professional side.
Since this has happened, since Jeffrey Epstein, everything about that, since that happened, I don't know why. It's every time I go to rent a car. You related? And I'm like, now it's gotten to the point where I play a joke with it, and I'm just like.
So I guess related to a famous wrestler that had one of the greatest streaks in wrestling history compared to one of the most sadistic madmen in the world.
Yeah, it's not safe.
I guess maybe I don't feel so bad, the jokes that they threw about the Goldberg shit.
Yeah, no, I'm like.
I do have a question.
I lose sleep over this, Jay.
Yeah, I have a question. If you don't mind me Can I call your area in that chair Epstein's Island? Can I
No,
call
you
it that?
can't.
I can't. Is that not allowed?
Is it because of the trees?
I'm just saying. I'm looking over there and it's like
I
it's
don't-
Epstein's Island.
I don't think you should.
No,
You know what I
that's
mean?
a good
It's
point.
fun. I just like, you know, and it's one of those jokes where you're just like, but that's what kind of makes it funny. But
It
you're done.
does. You know what it is? It's almost like one of those too soon. It's like too soon, bro. Like
Well,
when
I don't think it's just. I just think it's fucked up.
Well, no, you ever remember when Michael Jackson died? Like people made so many jokes. It's like, yo, too soon, bro. Still going on. It's like, not yet, bro.
Dude, that's what it's. But wait, real quick with the cars. When I go to rent them, they're always just like, "Are you related?" And I always just like, "Oh, you probably know my uncle, Steve."
Oh shit! Wow, the flip. I wasn't even ready for that. I wasn't ready for that.
Dude, they're always like, like a dog. They tilt their head.
Jesus.
Oh,
So I want to ride. Taking me back for a quick second.
I've never publicly. You know why we're not? God, you just.
Oh,
Fuck it.
God.
You go ask.
That was.
I've straight up never publicly said that shit. And then, like I said, it's like
Dude, I got the exclusive.
you do
I got the exclusive. Let's go. Football.
crab cakes and football.
Yeah. So real quick, as wild as that is, I do have so much like that I truly felt like I got to share with you.
Mm.
And now I have the exclusive here.
Yeah, I hate you for that. No.
But here's the best thing that it's like, I'm going to say I learned from you just in these like weeks that, we've been working together. It's like, I've known people for a while, but to see people actually in action where you actually have to deal with them and work with them, it's like, it's really a pleasure working with you because
I appreciate that.
you showed me a completely different perspective. I started this, I think as like a social experiment.
Mhm.
And then it turned into, there is a way, way bigger picture here. And
Dude, people don't. You understand it. Well, you understand the power of conversing and networking.
yeah,
That's this.
on a more broader scale.
Yeah. And you know what I mean? And people don't understand, like, one, conversation, first of all, it's been in the past. That's what radio was at first. You know what I mean? Everything makes a circle, full circle. But this is not only the past, it's literally the future.
Yeah.
Because this is the easiest way for someone to produce content at a completely scalable level, starting with basically nothing. Like, I know earlier I said it took $120,000 for the highest end podcast.
But we're talking the top.
You're talking
top.
dude, you could start on video chat, like on Skype. You can use iPhones. There's a million things you can do, but a lot of people they get caught up. They want that quality. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So they like after like the third episode, they're like,
So,
I'm not really feeling.
I'm gonna bring my Jewish side out right now.
Uh-huh.
And I remember when I first was like, okay, I was talking to Ty. Ty, you remember when we were just talking about like what it is like this like needed, and I was like, oh, so what are we thinking? Like a couple iPhones, and he was like, well, you could do that, or you could do this, and then you showed me like the quality of the camera, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then next thing you know, like you start to do the math, like without the help and the resources, it's like, okay, that camera cost maybe $4,000 to $5,000 all put together. You need 2 or 3 of those. You need the MacBook that could run the programs to even run this shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I started really looking at the whole thing. And that's why I kind of went with that like $20,000 marker of just the cameras.
That's equipment is 20.
Equipment, yeah.
Equipment's roughly about 20 grand at the quote unquote highest level. You get the highest quality microphones, and then like maybe like a 3-year-old camera, which is still insanely high quality. Like my camera is what? When do these cameras come out? It's like 4 or 5 years old. These cameras.
Essentially, this is the top
Yeah. That's
on board. Your top end mics. When these lights are decent, they were $200 a piece. Like this is a top end setup.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And it gets to even higher.
And this
That's
is
what I'm
just
saying. You'd be
the
surprised.
setup.
Yeah.
You talked about having
Having the people running it, having people book for you, this, that, and the other,
studio
scheduling,
time.
all that. Like, yeah. Studio time.
See, but that's where it's like I always.
Dude, you're not even thinking about the social media part, the marketing.
Oh no, I didn't even. Yeah, we didn't get to that part.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you just think of it this way: for anyone who's trying to start a podcast, what you are doing is you are making roughly, if you make it about an hour, which is usually standard podcast.
I like the hour. It's a good flow.
You're making an hour-long commercial about you and whoever you have as a guest.
Yeah.
When it's like conversational like this, not so much like storytelling, like you're reading a book or something like that.
Yeah.
It's hour long. Like, that's crazy. And people usually pay me no less than about $1,500 for like a 2-minute music video. This is an hour. Like, people aren't thinking, and the music video is a commercial for somebody's music. Yeah. You know what I mean? So this is like, that's why I'm like, this is the future. Like, it's just.
I think from what you explained to me about all this, that we spoke before we really started working together. And I was like, look, I cannot cut any more people. And the high I get from life is growing relationships and growing just like an overall, as simple as it is a message. Like, there is growth involved in life. Like, you don't need to stay stagnant. Like, I know a lot of people struggle with that. Maybe on social media, they pretend like they don't, but, they really are. And like, when you explained that there is a possibility for the voice to be further, it's like, well, that actually is what gets my rocks off in life. If it makes me money in the shop, which it does, it's like, well, that actually is just a means to continue to do what I love to do. It's like people, if you almost look at it as like people sponsor how I choose to do shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at this level, I feel like I've talked to everybody I can. Dude, I'm busy from the time I start to the time I finish. And then right after I finish, we're down here starting this and getting this finished.
Dude, what time did you start today?
What's today? Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday? I think I started at 7 today.
Yeah, you just got done cutting when I walked in at 5:30.
Yeah, and then shaped up Sal.
And then he shaped up the guest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get a shape up.
I know. We're good. I think one of the episodes has to be you in my chair.
He's getting shaped.
Because it's just us. You know what I mean? We don't have to have the whole setup. You know what I mean? I think one of them we're gonna play with that one.
I'm down.
Yeah. But I want to jump back. That was a fun little trail off too. That was a trail off.
Yeah.
So through this whole entrepreneurship journey, you mentioned something to me that you did, and it sparked something for me. I love to travel. When you started speaking about your traveling and then how you had actually went on an extended period of time where almost like you weren't doing vacation, like, oh, I'm going to take 3 days in Mexico, or I'm going to do a week here. You went on a legitimate journey. Well, I thrive one day to give myself, or actually to pay myself back to take the time to take that kind of a journey. Was that journey that you were talking about when you were at that low pinnacle, was that your turning point for yourself?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I went for 3.5, almost 4 months, I think it was.
I couldn't if I took 3 to 4 months off, I'd have people fucking screaming at me.
Well, I was 21, delivering pizzas.
I was delivering pizza. I went to deliver pizza.
Pat's
Select.
Pat's Select. Yeah.
Did they have good pizza?
The one in Marlton does.
Yeah.
No shade at the other ones.
It's like no shade, but yeah, this one was better.
But so I was gone for 4 months, and total transparency, I was not doing it luxuriously in the slightest. I was gone for 4 months. Guess how much money I spent?
4 months.
You were like, this is where my Jewish. This is where my Jewish.
Okay. Other than 4 months. Eat. You got to do this. You got to. I'm gonna say 6.
Wrong.
7.
Wrong.
So we're not. Okay,
Well,
so
like
you
less,
want me to go
less.
Lower? Really, lower than 6?
Yeah.
For 4 months, and you were just, where were you staying? Because that's a big
Anywhere I could.
I can see this being like really wild and being around like $2,000.
Less.
Holy shit. $1,500. Like I can't go any fucking lower.
I spent $1,300, and I went to Israel.
That's the Jew in you.
Yeah. I got a free trip out of that one. If you're Jewish, we're Jewish.
See, that's where I'm screwed. I'm on the other side of the Jew line. I didn't get the trip.
Like you fuck. No, I mean, like,
Maybe if I found
this isn't advice, but as long as you're any form of Jewish, technically Judaism follows the bloodline of your mother. If your mother's not Jewish, you are technically not Jewish. Therefore, you're not really supposed to go on this trip. However, if you tell them but you really want to study your ancestors and you're thinking about like converting or whatever,
I love this. Yeah.
They'll let you in there because they're just trying to get as many Jews to Israel and be like, look how cool this place is. You know what I mean?
So I got some type of a small confession. I guess this is where it's like I'm Jew-ish. I went to Catholic school, which is, I guess, where you say the mom parks. My mom was Catholic. I know. Isn't it a fucking? It's crazy because
that's how I am with religion. For the most part, everyone has, in any religion, a higher being.
Yes.
As long as you're not a fucking asshole, as long as you're not preaching down anyone.
Yeah.
It's fucking great because it gives you a little sense of community and everything. But for me, hence why I go Jewish for me, because like I don't.
You don't dedicate it to just...
Yeah, I've been in more churches because of weddings and like things like that than I have.
Oh, I can see that. So you're actually in... Yeah, okay, I see that. So let me... Because here's like the crazy part. I remember... Do you know what CCD is? Heard of CCD?
And that's like Sunday school, right?
Yeah, so we had to do that up until we were like... I forget what grade we made the confirmation or all that, but, when people...
I think that's second grade.
Something like
that. Like, how I know this.
I know you go up and you do the whole thing where you put the hand out, or you could like open your mouth. You could do either or. Now you probably want to keep your tongue. So
why is your what?
Well, because the priest could go, like he does the Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
But why is your tongue out?
Because you could receive it on your tongue.
What's it?
Oh yeah, with the wafer, the body of Christ. Amen. You know what I mean? That thing.
The Jesus.
Yeah, the Jesus. Yeah. So you could accept it two different ways. You could either put it over your... I know there's a way you gotta hold your hands. Yeah. It's like a cult thing, but it's like, all right, everybody, walk up this way, eat it this way. Oh, you want your tongue out? It's like...
Does it taste like anything? I don't think I've ever had one. No, I did have one of them. They taste like nothing. They don't think about that.
It's almost like nothing. And this is where I think the Jews beat the Catholics on this one. Matzah tastes way better than the Jesus.
Dude,
matzah's delicious.
Passover the other day, my mom had chocolate. Was it Passover? See, that's cricket. Was it?
It's passed over. Yeah.
You're fucking. I'm saying what? Just I forget.
Passover.
Yeah. My mom had chocolate covered matzah.
Wow.
Ballin'.
That's a stoner's dream. A Jewish stoner's dream. That's one of my dreams.
Which is probably another. Honestly, you're gonna make me. That's another exclusive people are probably gonna get.
What's that? The matzah?
The wheat thing.
Oh yeah.
It's your thick.
Yeah. I was gonna say, is he good? Damn, dude, we just started recording.
All right, well, hold on.
Yeah, we'll have to hold
yeah, that's gonna. Well, hold on.
You can give me a verbal hi-you if you want to send it off.
Keep watching towards the end. You're gonna get another exclusive.
Oh, absolutely. So, I love this. So let's get back to your trips, because when you told me how much your life was like kind of like forming, it's like my life didn't form until I was able to actually make a little bit of money. I had too much of like I guess where we have like our differences, like you were way more open to taking that risk. And I respect the fuck out of you for that.
Yeah, I had to get the fuck out. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest, I stayed kind of trapped until I figured it out. Like, I guess that's where it's like I enjoy listening to like how you tell it and like what you went through, because some people, they're like, fuck this. Yeah. I'm out. I'm going to go figure this out. Whether you figure it out in a day, 2 days, 2 years, 20 years, it doesn't matter. For me, staying stuck in my environment actually kind of helped me in a way. It forced me to realize that I can't change the environment. I can leave the environment, but what it taught me never left. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like, if you're in the slums, it's like, that's in you. It doesn't matter if you leave. Like, that's what you're going to remember as your experience that gets you through. And I remember there was times where it's like I had hard shit that fucked me up and got my life further. And then, and this is where I want to take this, because I ain't trying to go depressing on this one. I remember when I had my life-altering moments when I started taking those fun trips, like the ones where you're already jazzed up. You're like, no, I'm accomplished. I'm feeling good.
Fun trips? Are we talking about like hallucinogens? Or are we talking about like trip? Like airplane?
Both.
Have you tripped on a trip? Yeah, tripped on a trip?
Every trip. Yeah.
Yeah, that hasn't been in every trip for me.
Okay.
Although I did first trip on that trip.
Oh, yeah. Just, broads the mind. And this is my biggest thing. Like, maybe not everybody's going to do this, nor do I suggest doing this by any means. But when, it's a no-go. Parental advisory. But every time I went on a trip, I always had so much that I was doing in my personal life that sometimes when I would get to my trip or wherever my destination was, not on that level, but say I was just going to Florida. And actually, you know what? I'll use the Dominican Republic as my example. When I got there, I ate a tab of acid about 30 to 40 minutes before the plane landed. And I started making it a habit.
Did you bring it on the plane?
Yeah.
You got it through. You're impressive.
Oh, dude.
I guess good point.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't bombed out.
Yeah.
But I like to look at it this way. When I trip, it puts me planted. Sometimes, and I know you get it as an entrepreneur, like when that 9-to-5 job ends for certain people, then their life actually picks up when they clock the time clock. That doesn't happen for us. So it's like for me to physically leave that, I sometimes got to do something to put me in wherever I'm going. So
well, you got your 9 to 5 and then you got your 5 to 9.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But most people's 5 to 9 is their entertainment, their reason for having the 9 to 5 or just the bridge between the next day.
Well, I was just going to say, some people need that decompression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you know what? I blame nobody for this, but I could also say in my life, without those trips, I would have never understood the meaning of life. You know, breaking what you think in one way to now see it a different way, because the different perspectives that I've seen over the years are honestly, that's what got me to such a better understanding. You know, you know, some people are kind of like in their own head and they're like, oh, fuck this person. It's like, when are you actually in your own head to diagnose your own shit? I do that a lot with acid, mushrooms. Like I'm going to sound like a jerk off when I say this. Not like I can't take accountability if I don't do that. But drugs like those, they do help me see inside of myself as opposed to like an external version of what I'm expecting. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yo, you did that day. It's like, yeah, but this fucking guy did this. It's like, yeah, but it's the iceberg concept. What sunk the Titanic was not what everybody saw. It was what was underneath. And we're the underneath. We are the actions that show what the iceberg is. Yeah. So for me, it's like, those drugs do that for me, just to keep it real. Yeah. Not even to say I can't do it without it. Yeah. But yeah, it puts me in that place, man. I've learned so much through that.
Dude, I'm literally right there with you. And it's funny that you mentioned that all the traveling you did, you know, you see it from a different perspective. That's literally why I did it. You know, most of my travels, I've only been out of the country two times.
Okay.
Been at Frankfurt Airport 3 times. I count it as being in Frankfurt. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, do you count airports like as like?
Nah.
I've been there 3 times. At some point,
did you leave the airport?
So technically, I took a bus from one of the times. I took a bus from Amsterdam to Frankfurt Airport, and I had to leave the bus, walk on the ground to, you know what I mean, like the soil, then get into the airport. Does that count? It's got to count for something.
You know what? I'm going to count that as an experience in travel. So you know what? Yeah, All right, I'm going to have to support that.
I can chalk that. But it's
a new experience.
Exactly. But so what you're saying, traveling helps you see other perspectives. That's literally why I did that. I never went anywhere in my entire life besides like Florida to like Disney World or like visit my grandma. That was it.
I hate Disney, by the way, but continue. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
I love Disney World. Disney World's sick.
I like it. I just don't feel like getting bent over backwards. You know what I mean? For the prices.
Well, I always wanted to make a series where to see how long I can survive in Disney World free. Like how many days can I do it? I know a couple secrets. Like where you can
hide in Disney World?
Yeah. There's places you would have to, there's campsites in Disney World. People don't know this.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Like, or free or as cheap as possible, I should say.
Fair enough. I like that.
You know, you can camp at Disney World, I think off season, sometimes they're literally like 10, 20 bucks.
Yeah, the average person that goes to Disney World, a couple of my...
Or at least used to be.
Yeah, dude, a couple of my buddies took themselves or wife, and they're like, I think like 2 kids, 3 kids, like whatever they got going. And they were telling me, they're like, the tickets for the adults are $400 total. Then you got the kids tickets. Then you got the fast pass. It's
Dude,
like, hold
it's
up.
insane.
It's like, yo, you're to the average person just walks in that fucking door. You're a G.
Yeah.
If it's your wife and 2 kids. God forbid they're over the age of 2 and they have to pay for the ticket. Can't ride any of the rides, except for maybe it's a small one. I did like that. It was very peaceful.
I would definitely recommend taking your money and going somewhere else in Disney World. But if you got fuck you money and you've already seen a bunch of shit, go to Disney World.
See, but I like seeing
you got to get drunk around the world in Epcot.
I did that. That was
See, I'm jealous of that. Yeah,
was fun.
that's what I always wanted. You have the domestic, not domestic. What's the opposite of domestic? Why am I spacing? International.
Yeah.
The international beers
Dude, you know what got me through that? An 8-ball blow.
in Disney.
Yeah.
You do it with Mickey?
Yeah. I wish. Fucking do a line with Walt Disney if I could.
He just gets crazy.
Yo, but you know what? I feel like sometimes that's really fucking degenerate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, yo, nobody knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like, no, like my mom didn't know, my dad didn't know. Nobody knew I was all yacked up walking around Epcot. Like, yeah, dude, Mexico, they got a tequila shot over there. I'm going to try it. Oh, yeah, football.
Let's go on Soarin'.
I don't even know what that is, but it's
That's a ride in Disney.
Oh,
That's an Epcot. You lay flat. It looks like you're flying. So,
Oh, that's kind of lit.
yeah.
It's kind of like one of them simulator things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I could hit roller coasters for days. You put me on a simulator, I might fucking puke.
I've been on a roller coaster years.
Oh, dude, I love them. I'm an adrenaline junkie.
So am I.
Fast I can
Well, didn't
go.
you jump out of an airplane on acid?
I did.
Let me tell about that, because that alone probably triumphs any of my stories. I got some fucking crazy stories. That's nuts.
I don't want it to be a triumph, but you ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm going to settle in for this one.
Should I get comfy?
Yeah, get comfy.
Yeah.
Get comfy.
Well, I'm already comfy enough in this robe that you made me wear.
Dude, it's comfy, right?
He forced me to wear this. No, he didn't. I asked. This is the thing you should do. You should ask politely your guests if they would
Ask where. Can you ever wear a robe? If they ask me if they want clothes underneath, that would be even more wild.
Yeah. I don't got tattoos. I just got a hairy ass chest.
Does tattoo look good?
Yeah.
So here's what goes down. I had already jumped out of a plane. This was the 3rd time I had skydives at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The first time, you know me, I smoke. I live my day-to-day stoned. So did that. The second time, I went by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like, none of my friends really had the money, and I was like, not to say I wasn't in a giving mood to like share the experience, but I'm like, I want to do this. And I was like, you already get a fucking rush from jumping out of a plane. And I was like, yo, I want to blow a line or like hit a bump like right before I jump out of the plane. And on my second one of the instructors, he was this Australian dude. Yo, cool as fuck, man. Cool as shit. And this guy's like, yo, what are you doing? And I'm like, look, I just want to do this for myself. He was like, nah, let me get one. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Let's go. This guy's ready to rock with me. So we go into the bathroom real quick. We both hit a bump. And then I was talking to him. I'm like, yo, how are we going to actually like I want to do one right before, because it does take about 15 minutes to like circulate, and I didn't want to be de-rushed by the time I jumped off. So he's like, all right. He remembered me from the first time I jumped because I was just vibing with everybody, smoking afterwards and shit. And he put us in the back of the plane.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bullet.
Are you on your 3rd jump? Are you jumping by yourself? Or are you with?
Nah, I was with somebody else on my 3rd too. But on that second jump, we sat in the back of the plane. We waited for everybody to go. And, you know, I passed the bullet back to him, like, yo, go ahead, like, get yours in. He was like, all right. And I was like, all right. I'm like, fuck, let's go. I got the rush instantly. We start like weaseling our way up the fucking little tiny plane. He's like, you ready? I'm like, I just pushed.
He's like, are you ready?
Whatever went through my mind at that point, because each time was different. When I was stoned, I was scared. And I was like, I got over a fear of literally just, hey, yo, when you look out that door, there's nothing. There's the sky. And by the way, for anybody that's never skydived, clouds are cold. Clouds literally are almost close to freezing, which is kind of wild. But like I said, second time jumped out and it was just a rush. Like my heart was beating out of my chest so fucking hard. And here's the weird part about skydiving. You're falling down, but you're getting so high from like the dopamine that it's almost like you're inverted internally. Like your equilibrium is so fucked.
I believe it.
Now let's get to the third, because the second one was just like a pure rush. I couldn't explain it. Like I couldn't sleep for 2 days. Like I was trying to sleep. I was laying down for like an hour and a half, back and forth. Like my adrenaline was fucking nuts. But
he's getting amped now just talking about it.
Oh my God. I would do it again, but like now I feel like my heart would give out doing it now. But the best time I could say was when I did acid, because I remember the guy wasn't there, but I had already ate the tab. Like, I don't know. Like that's what made me want to go skydiving. It was such a nice day. I was kind of by myself at the time. My girl wasn't around. She was at work. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to eat some acid. Didn't have any plans that day to go skydiving. I wanted to go walk around with my dog and just fuck off, you know?
Yeah, that's not what you did at all. It's literally the complete opposite.
Yeah. I went over to Cross Keys over in South Jersey, and I was just kind of sitting there. You go through the process. You watch the fucking video. I was like, so I've been here, done that guy. And I was looking for my guy. I'm like, yeah, where is he at? And I just kind of got the feeling he either wasn't working there or just wasn't there that day. I was like, fuck it. So we get up in the plane, and you know how like acid comes in waves? Like you're just waving through it. It's like, oh my God, this is great. Oh, fuck, I'm feeling it. Oh, this is nice. Oh, I'm calm. You know, you're like all over the board. I was in the plane. I was in like the middle on the left side. And I'm sitting there, and my head's down. Like, you know, you just kind of got that, like, that, like, zen. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm feeling this. Then you read, like, at the front of the plane, it kind of has, like, your altitude. So once you hit about it's like 14,000 to 16,000 feet, they hit the green light as long as, like, there's no crazy wind tunnel in the area. Excuse me. But door opens up, and I'm like, oh, wow. The trip kicked in super hard. Like almost like I had that was like a zero to 100 of like adrenaline. I started like tearing up, and I was like, oh my God. Like if I could tell you like the flood of emotions that hit me, and I didn't jump yet. I get to the front. I mean, probably for the last like 20 seconds, I was profusely sweating. Like
I can imagine.
Sweating. Like everything was coming out of me, like fear. I felt like greed. I felt like the 7 deadly sins came out of me as I'm looking down. And then this other random person, which he was cool too, not as cool as the other dude. He's like, you ready? And I'm like, yeah. And just jumped. That moment changed my life.
Did you because you jumped 2 times prior, did it feel like that third time because of the acid, like you were just kind of free falling forever? Or did it seem longer, quicker? Like,
longer, because the experience is kind of quick. Like the coasting down once you pull your chute, that could be a couple minutes, like, depending upon like how deep you pull your chute. But I always like to pull it at the last second. I want everything
right at the ground.
Yeah, I forget where it's. I think
10 feet up.
If I can remember, it's like around 2,000 feet you have to pull. Yeah. Because if not, then you start falling at a rate that like the chute can't catch the wind fast enough. Yeah. But I jumped, and I felt like everything in my life had went away. My stress, anything I'd ever felt in my life. And I thought, remember what I told you on the first jump? I was like, I thought I was beating fear. No, I think that was just doing something new. When I jumped on the third time, I was so inside myself that I was like, I'm jumping for my life right now. And not that you're going to die. It's just, this is going to be a free fall that isn't amped up. The adrenaline's there. But as soon as I jumped off the plane, and I just kind of like threw my hands up, and like you roll backwards, your whole shit just goes, and you just get that last breath before the force of the fall hits you. Because you can get one good breath before you jump off that plane. One. And it's just that, now, and it's like,
yeah, I can imagine.
And when I flipped, you flip backwards. Like, not like you do a backflip, but like you just flip backwards. It was gone. Just one of those moments where I realized acid. I didn't have any conversations. I didn't have anything going on. I just had probably so much stress built up about being an entrepreneur, like that, like crazy activities like that would just take me over. And it's like, how many people do you know that would be like, I ain't doing that. You're a fucking lunatic. I'm like, what if I told you it would change your life? Would you do it?
I know 7.
Yeah.
7 people. No.
Specifically 7.
No, that's fucking crazy. First of all, you're nuts.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah. Good nuts, though. Good nuts. Because,
it's
one, it's a story. 2, you experience something that even people that do skydive, like, I met a guy, he's like, yeah, I jumped out of an airplane like 3,000 times. I was like, dude, there's only 365 days in a year. Like, how long have you been doing this? Like, I'm like, what?
Well,
he's like, oh, I jumped like 4 times.
The adrenaline
last week.
The adrenaline for me is gone. I feel like I can't. I feel like if there's any time you do something new, like when you were traveling, it's like once you truly breach, like doing something new, it's like you did it.
Yeah.
You did it. You broke that fear. You broke that fucking, I like to call it the shoulder drop.
Well, that's what it was like with traveling. Dude, that trip that I did, it was like 3.5, 4 months. I did that again for 3.5, 4 months the next year on the exact date that I left the previous year.
That beneficial to you?
Yeah. The first one, I went by airplane and just wherever I needed. I was mostly going to major cities. The next one, I did it by car with a road trip with 2 of my best friends.
Oh,
and we just like straight up lived outside of a car, just camped wherever we could. We got a hotel once a week just to like shower, and then we would like stay with friends. We were like not luxurious.
Dude, you know what though? You lived.
Yeah,
and
it was awesome. It was sick. We saw crazy. Like, I remember one time we were driving through a time zone, different time zones during daylight savings on a mountain at sunset. It was just like a weird thing. Like, we were going back in time and then forward in time, and then you're seeing all these views, and you're just like, dude, what is this? This is wild.
Were you on acid at the time?
I was not. No. No. Are you acid or mushroom guy?
Both. I've means to take them 2 different reasons.
I'm more of a mushroom guy. I've done acid.
Mm-hmm.
I only did acid once.
Did you have a good experience?
Yeah, I had a great experience. I did it in St. Petersburg, Florida.
No.
At a college that basically threw a little tiny festival for their students that, like, they knew everyone was doing drugs, and they were kind of not incentivized it, but like, and they were literally handing out drug tests just to make sure people were taking the right shit.
I could respect
cool.
that.
Yeah, but I'm more of a mushroom guy. Way more of a mushroom guy. I just think like I don't know. I heard this quote once. I think it was like Sting or something. It was someone random. He's like, I don't know all the secrets to life, but mushrooms is a start.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was like,
that is a good start.
Oh. So I was like, let me see what the fuss is about. And the fuss was cool. It was great.
Yeah. So I take, all right, this is going to sound crazy. Also, not advising.
Everything you say sounds crazy, Jay.
I know, right?
But in like a good way.
Yeah. Like here's my only twist when it comes to mushrooms and acid. I only have one. Or I guess 2 if you want to break it down between the 2. But if I couldn't figure something out logically, like I needed help in my brain, I would take acid. Acid would help me control my thoughts if they were maybe starting to get out of control, or they started like leaving the reality of what I was trying to fix.
That's wild. Mine's the reverse.
Yeah, see, mushrooms are I can't figure my emotions out. I'm stressed. I got cortisol and tension built up in my body. Like, acids, for me, acid's been for the mind, mushrooms been for the heart. That's how I kind of go about the 2.
And you know what's good for the soul?
Pot. Yeah, football.
Is it time?
Is it? I don't know. D, is it time?
End that live, Dylan.
We got to end the live real fast. We can come back on.
I feel like this is the other exclusive. Yeah, this is the other exclusive. I feel like I have to do this just because it's like a thing you do.
Yeah,
that's why I'm doing it.
Wait, where's it at?
No, I want to.
Oh, you want to hit the barber?
I want to hit the barber.
So real quick, this piece right here was made by a really good friend of mine, Alex. He's a glass blower in Philly. I hit him up one day and I was like, dude, I'm so high right now. What if I had a bong that was a barber pole? He's like, oh yeah, dude, you're definitely high as fuck. But I was
it's sick.
Yeah, but I was like, can you do it? That's all I said. I'm like, yo, can you do it?
That should be your merch.
If I can get it to be mass,
that'd be
absolutely.
Sick.
You ready?
Salute. It's That's what I'm saying. I've never publicly talked about my last name, and I have never publicly smoked weed.
Oh. Enjoy, brother.
Mom, if you're watching this, I love you.
Dude, my mom's like, see me smoke weed, do coke, pop acid. She's just like,
oh, my mom knows what I do, but it's the fact that it's like, oh, anyone can see this?
yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Yo, it's so much accepted though, like in this culture today. I feel like if you want to go back 10 years ago, weed was just like, ew, you smoke weed. It's like now you smoke weed. It's like, oh shoot, you kind of get it. Like
it's literally legal.
Yeah. At least out here. At least where we're sitting at from this standpoint, exactly. It's like it's legal for us.
I'm not breaking the law, Mom. It's legal.
It's like that shame. It's like, like I don't know if your mom has a look.
Nah, like, because my mom, I don't know. I feel like my mom would be a stoner if it wasn't for like
Dude, my dad drives trucks for a living, and he tells me all the time. He's like, before I was born, he was like, oh, dude, before you were born, man, I was fucking toking up. And I'm like, well, the day you don't drive trucks no more and that CDL is no longer useless, I'm like, you get it, right? He's like, I'll think about it. No, I'm like, motherfucker, you're going to hit this bomb. Like, I'm going to put you in a fucking 1985 to where you fucking remember was a great time.
It is pretty interesting because it's just like, alcohol is literally poison. You feel the way you do. I'm good right now. I'm already. You feel good the way you do when you're drunk because you're poisoning yourself, technically.
Poisoning the mind.
Yeah. Weed, I wouldn't use the word poison.
Fertilize. I feel like
because it's a plant.
Yeah, you fertilize that shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, we'll go with that one, Jay.
I'll take it, man. Let's go.
But no, I don't know. I get creative, dude. Literally, why do you think the podcast looks like it does? Because I'll just be blazing and I'll just be editing like this on my lap, like just literally like that, and it just, I don't know, like I'm able to, one, relax, two, expand my mind. So it's just like,
yeah, I
just never did public because it's just, I never wanted weed attached to my brand. But if anyone ever asks, yeah, fuck yeah, I smoke weed. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I guess I never cared about it. You know what? I've built such a clientele over the years that most of them, and I guess I have a culture for the type of guys that come into my business. They all kind of follow, not to say follow suit, but like we all have like a very, very like 4 things in common. We're all about being in shape. We all want to stay in the gym and stay healthy. Aside from like my corporate guys, like 70% of my clientele smokes weed. 100% of my clients are about growth. I will accept nothing less, just because that's what I want to do. If you're with me, I'm here to give you something good. I'm not here to take your money, kick you the fuck out. It's like, nah, let's keep growing. And number 4, it's just a general perspective of just understanding that everybody has their own shit. So if we can come together as we're just people, you're not coming to me from this level. You're not trying to come at me from this level. It's like, can we level as human beings? Because if we can, I'm all about it. Most people I've been around, and I'm sure I know your industry almost maybe breeds it too much. The barber business breeds this too.
What, the like fakeness or something?
I'm gonna say more or less arrogance because you know what?
Okay, yeah.
Because
there's plenty of there's plenty of that in entertainment.
Yeah, I've seen fake, and it works. As like condescending as that sounds, I've seen fake work, but arrogance never has. So my clients that I've been with for years and that have like, sponsored me for this whole time to do this, we share those 4 things. And I think that's what weed, like, oh man, I would love to tell everybody, like, dude, smoke a joint, calm the fuck down. Like, take a different perspective. Like, some people are so scared. Like, some people say, oh, dude, I won't smoke weed because it gives me anxiety. It's like, good, face it. Face that fucking anxiety.
Run into that car that's driving right at you.
Yeah, I did. No, I do that because you know what? I don't know how you go about it, but I know you're probably just like me, being a business owner. Like you're probably either anxious or excited throughout most of your day, either to get work done or how much work do you have to do. Like you probably float both sides.
Yeah, literally.
So for me, it's like I have that same anxiety, and it's like I have to curb it some way. and to sometimes push through and not actually digest what I'm doing, I feel like that's fucked, man. I don't think I'd have got to this place without being able to see a different perspective.
Yeah.
Not just the weed. Yeah, I'll say
it's the weed and the drugs and the traveling all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all new.
And notice how I separated weed from drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I will 100%.
I didn't even mean to do that, and I just did that.
You're right. Yeah, you're 100% right though. Truthfully, because when I do talk to people about smoking weed, it's sometimes I get carried away by what I'll do, and I wouldn't want to like truly recommend it. Like, you ever watch the movie The Matrix?
Yeah.
Do you?
I haven't seen the second one.
I'll be honest. The first one, I think it should have been a one and done, but if they made money off the other ones, good for them.
Isn't there a third and fourth?
Dude,
they just made one a couple of years ago.
Yeah, there's like cartoons now. Like,
what?
They really took it.
Okay.
But there was, if you can remember, in one part of the first movie, this stuck with me so hard, and this is something that like some of my clients over the years came to me for. Do you remember in the movie when he actually brings Neo into the Matrix and like breaks his mind? He's like, yo, this is what's really going on, dude. And he was like, usually we don't pull people your age and at your point in life out of the Matrix because it completely fucks them up. Like their whole timeline of what they think is like, oh my God, like, you hear people say, yo, what happened to John? He had a midlife crisis. It's like, oh, he figured it out at 50. Shit. I got that midlife crisis at 17. Like the eye opener at 17 where it's just like, oh my God, this is not it. Like everything is broader, everything is bigger. How big you want to go? Well, that's on the person.
Yeah.
And I guess, no, okay. It's going to die. How much time we got? What do you want to do?
I guess we'll wrap it up.
All right. Well, listen. Yes, since the camera's gonna die.
I'll be on another episode. How about that? Because I feel like me and you could talk for fucking hours.
Yeah, we got technical issues, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This is my man, Day Chase. He's the vision behind the vision.
Something like that.
Take care. I'll see y'all later.